What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys been out there building shit. I'm Aspie, and you're watching The Workshop. We've been hard at work building this 7.3 IDI diesel race truck, but we're taking a break from it this week. Oh no, even though race weekend's coming up, the 9th and the 10th, time's starting to run low to get this thing done. And today, I've got a super exciting video for you. Vevor reached out to me and asked me to review this multi-process welder. It does MIG, TIG, and stick welding, but we're just going to be reviewing it as a MIG welder with flux core wire right now because it didn't come with the stuff to do TIG or stick welding, but it did come with the MIG torch. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm also going to teach you how to get crabs. Make a crab out of scrap metal. If you're looking for some high dollar, brand whore, welding expert, you clicked on the wrong video. As you see, I'm far from one of those fancy guys that has like a shop and everything. I usually pull my tools out of some place that I got them stored, drag them into the great outdoors, and do some welding. So I don't really like to have gas bottles and all the fanciness. I just run the old flux core, and so then I can go out in the weather, in the wind, and I can still get some decent welds. Slight disclaimer, they did send me this welder for free, but that put me under no obligation to lie to you guys or not shoot straight. I'm going to let you know the good and the bad as I check it out and give it a review. If you're interested in checking this welder out, maybe purchasing one, there'll be an affiliate link down in the description. You guys are interested in this welder, maybe checking it out, going to the website, purchasing something. I make a little something off of it and it helps out the channel. This Vevor company, they're not just about welders, guys. They have all kinds of tools. If you can think of a tool, something that you can use around the farm, the garden, the automotive shop, anything else, they've probably got one. And it's going to be a little cheaper, probably a little cheaper made as well than other companies. But if you're like me and you're on a budget, you'll love this company. Not all of us need these contractor grade, professional, perfect tools made to the highest of standards. A lot of us buy our tools and we use them here and there just once in a while. We're hobbyists, we're home repair, DIY types. These Vevor tools will save you money and work just great for the hobbyist. Now for the dilemma. What do I do with this cheap, budget-friendly beginner welder? What can I do? What can I make? The perfect beginner welding project. Let's build something out of scrap metal. Off to peruse my rusty bits and treasures. So let's make a metal art crab, guys. My first step in any kind of metal art project is just to kind of go through my scrap metal and lay things out. So here I've got a clutch pressure plate. This is a pipe flange that I just added to it to kind of finish it off. Some springs and bolts for eyes. These are out of a concave of a combine, and I'm thinking I'll cut them and shape them. And then we've got some gardening shears that I think we'll use for the claws. So I've changed out a few pieces, got everything cut out. Now it's time to start welding. So we've got the Vevor 250 amp MIG welder, and this is the box of goodies it came with. We've got a hose, we've already talked about that. It won't be needed. Book? Yeah, who needs instructions? So we've got another wire feed roll. We've got some extra tips. Not honestly sure what that little tooly type thing is. And we've got some extra of the brass tips that the wire feeds through. We've got a ground clamp. I'm not sure what those little metal deals in there are. And we've got our MIG gun. So I'm going to pull some of this out and start getting it set up. So it looks like this is actually to loosen and tighten your tips One of the things that really frustrated me about this Hexvogen welder, that metal cup had welding current going to it, so it liked to arc out against your work surface. What the heck's going on? My wire's not feeding. Ah, shoot, we're just out of wire, guys. There ain't nothing wrong with the old Hexvogen, but I did just get this guy. You might say that timing was absolutely impeccable. Opening it up. So since the old welder's out of wire, let's throw a new roll on this new vevor welder. We're using the Vulcan gasless flux core welding wire in .035 size from Harbor Freight. I was a little disappointed that vevor didn't include at least a small spool of some flux core welding wire. I mean, if I was a new welder, I'd want a little welding wire to go with my welder so that I could get to welding. Pretty straightforward and easy, guys. You get this unscrewed. So we got the nut, a spring, and then this plastic deal. We go ahead and put our wire on, put the plastic deal back on, and a spring, and the nut. We'll open this up, and this needs turned around. It's got two different sizes for 030 or 035 wire. We want the grooves for the 035 side because that's what we're loading in. And actually, for them, it's 1.0 or 0.8. Be careful with this. Kind of grab it before you go to cutting because you don't want it to go flinging off and turning into a rat's nest here. Well, make sure you get those guys that are melted into the side cut off as well, because you don't want them going and catching your wire as it's trying to feed. But we'll get that wire fed out and into the machine. One thing I really encourage you to think about before you purchase a welder is what kind of outlets you've got available to power it. See, this here vevor requires a 220 outlet. The Hexvogen that we've been using on the channel for the last year, it was dual voltage. You could plug it into a regular 110 outlet or 220 if you needed a little higher amperage. Made it really convenient. The on-off switch is back here. Kind of a unique one. If you're gonna run gas, there's your intake port. Got the machine powered on. Now we just kind of push it through there and then go ahead and get this stuff all closed. And we'll pull the trigger and see if she feeds. Uh-oh. Maybe we gotta change it. I got a few instructions where to hook things up for different kinds of welding. Just a basic welder here. And then we've got our settings. And we've got lift TIG, MIG, MMA, which is like a stick welding. So let's go up to MIG. Then we've got what size wire we're going to use, 0.08 or 0.10, gas or no gas. And we're going to do 1.0 with no gas. Oh yeah, she's feeding through now. And we're going to feed it until we got some coming out of the tip. Little son of a gun. We broke it. So all that was fed in, and then it decided to break. That's not fun. That's an absolute waste. Quite frustrating, to be honest. So we're going to try it again. What are we trying to feed wire into this thing? I'm wondering, maybe I should take this tip off. see if that helps. Welding lead straighten out here, and that is long. I'd say about 10 feet. I'm gonna say this, I feel like that's a good and a bad. Yes, you can reach where you're wanting to weld with that long lead, but each time you change the wire, each time you've got to, you run out of wire on your spool and you got to put a new spool, that's gonna all go to waste, guys. Next off, in that long of a cable or a welding lead, now if you get a kink, a bend, or a failure to feed, is a lot easier because it's just so long. Holding the trigger again, hopefully we can get this thing to feed all the way through and not waste us a bunch of wire again. Oh, I feel it in my hand. It's starting to vibrate a little. Hopefully it comes all the way through. Oh, there it is. We got wire, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get this tip and cup put back on here, and I'll get back to you. We've also got this knob here that turns up and down our settings. They're kind of hard to read outside. Amps and voltage, it looks like. Now that we've got this machine set up, we've got wire in it, we've got it at the right settings and stuff, let's try doing some welding. I'm going to be building a crab out of scrap metal, so let's get to it. I'm going to set it on something to where once I do the legs down to the flatbed, it'll be raised up off the ground a little bit. So, let's start doing some welding. We've got to hook up our ground clamp. Oh, amps. Let's turn them down a bit. Thinking about 160 I've got it set at for the amps. I think I could turn it down even some more. Let's go down to about 130 we're at now. We're just doing yard art, we're not doing structural stuff. And something that's odd is without the trigger pulled, you touch this, it still kind of sparks a little. Still got a little bit of juice in it. You guys notice that? Here, I'll bring you over. Kind of strange. The trigger's not pulled. I do feel like I'm getting good strong welds though. Plenty of penetration, plenty of amperage coming out of this machine. Decent wire speed. I do wish that I could adjust my wire feed speed, but there is no adjustments on this machine for that. Legs attached to one side and one to the other side, and so far I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm enjoying the wire feed of this welder. At first, I was very skeptical because there's no adjustment for the wire feed speed, but it's actually set quite well, and I'm enjoying how it's laying beads. The Exvogen welder that I've been using for the last year, I've always felt like it lacked a little bit in the wire feed speed. It was just a little bit too low for most of my projects, and that was even turned all the way up. It's got an adjustment, and it was too low. This one has no adjustment, but it's doing quite well. Oh, I'm going to weld the legs on the other side now. Hopefully you guys will be able to see a little bit. A really smooth, even bead. I'm actually, and it's not because I got this thing for free. I'm quite impressed for the $200 price tag, even if I would have used my own money, guys. And there's what we've come up with, guys. That's my metal art crab. Gonna give it to my mom for Mother's Day. She's got a beach house, and I think this would go good in her garden out there. This guy flipped over and finished welding it. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, guys. It's the first time that any company's ever sent me a product to review. I'm glad they did. Definitely gave me a boost as far as my achievements on YouTube go. Don't forget to check out the description. Hit that affiliate link up. Check out what vevor has to offer. I'm not saying you got to buy something, but hitting that link will definitely help me out and show them that I directed traffic to their website, and maybe they'll send me some more stuff to review in the future. I'm definitely not going to claim that this welder can stack up against a Lincoln or a Miller. For the low budget, weekend warrior type guy that's just trying to lay down some welds, it does pretty dang good. I do wish that it was dual voltage so I could take it out and it'd be more portable, plugging it into 110 when I go and weld for other people. I wouldn't have to rely on my 220 outlet at home. But I do really enjoy how this welder lays a bead, and I will enjoy having it around when I'm trying to weld some heavier steel. So to wrap this review up, I'm not saying it's my absolute favorite welder, but it's definitely going to be a welder in my lineup to choose from in the future. So, till next time, guys, believe in what God gave you, take on some projects, build, fix, create, keep building shit.